covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your day with us, where today, as always, if I do say so myself, we have another information-packed edition of the Means Report. First up, we're going to take an in-depth look at a local landmark, a landmark that is rich in history, as St. Paul's Episcopal Church gets set to celebrate its 275th anniversary. Unbelievable. And then if you are ill and you have worked at the Savannah River site at some point in your life, you possibly could get some federal assistance. I mean money, I mean health care. And we're going to talk to an agency right here at home that can help you navigate that. And as always, we're going to help you stay in touch with the Means Report and help us get more great guests in the future, like our first one. He is Father Eric Biddy, the rector at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Father Biddy, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm excited for you all about your upcoming 275th anniversary. There's so much to talk about. We should have booked like 2 shows to discuss all that is St. Paul's, but let's talk about this celebration coming up next month. I want people to know that it's more than just marking the fact that y'all are a super old church, and that St. Paul's is so much more. What can you tell me along those lines?
We are old. We've 275 years, as far as we know. We think we probably are the oldest church in Augusta. But we're not looking to celebrate being an institution that has survived for a long time. We're celebrating 275 years of faith and service located in downtown Augusta, serving God, serving each other, serving our neighbors throughout the whole history of this town. And so that's what we want to celebrate and continue.
Did you know how special St. Paul's is before you took this job? Because we love it in Augusta.
I had not much of an idea. No, it was appealing to me. I was intrigued. And I almost didn't want to come to know too much because I wanted to be sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, what I felt like God wanted me to do, and not just trying to get a really great job with a very, very special church.
Are a lot of people drawn to that campus, have you found, where they just want to walk around and explore things like the many grave sites?
Oh yes, all the time. All kinds of folks come through the churchyard. Yes, we get local Augustans doing research, taking photographs, hanging out, doing yoga in the churchyard.
Really?
Oh yeah. And the church doors we keep open Monday to Friday from 9 to 3. So anyone can come in, get out of the elements, take a quiet moment of prayer, reflection, whatever it is. So we strongly encourage people to come on campus, come be at peace in the hectic downtown. We've got this little enclave of peace and hope and faith. And of course, lots of our neighbors who have needs spend a lot of time in the churchyard, in the church also. And it's a wonderful gathering place for all of Augusta.
Yeah, it answers my next question, which was the door's always open to those people, and they're always welcome to come, the visitors, and check things out. So the Church of England got this church started back in the 1700s when it was the site of, is it Fort Augusta?
Yeah, so Fort Augusta is very near where St. Paul's is now. And so the folks there who wanted church were mostly members of the Church of England. So they petitioned to be able to build a church and then had to send to England to get a minister. And he came across with a baptismal font. And did not like Augusta or St. Paul's.
Really?
He only stayed for a few years. He was frightened on the rough and tumble frontier, even though there was a giant fort right behind the church, which you'd think would provide some security.
Right.
And the church had promised to put windows in his house and didn't. So there's mosquitoes and all of our native wildlife coming in his house all the time. He left quickly.
He had no time for it.
Yeah.
So are there any reminders of those olden days? I know there once was a cannon there. There's a cross, I think, to mark something significant? What could people expect to find to remind them of the early days?
We have quite a bit. Of course, many graves and gravestones,
Yeah.
reaching back as far back as Augusta goes, or at least European settlement in Augusta. We still have the place where the original chapel was. It was destroyed. The first church was rebuilt after the French and Indian War. It had served as a refugee center. Second church was destroyed in the Revolutionary War. We've had a few buildings, but we still have a colonial chapel garden that's laid out with the footprint of the original church. So you can see both where it was and how tightly packed it would have been. The first font that was brought over from England is inside the church still. We don't use it often.
My goodness.
It's a little delicate.
Yeah.
And then we do have this historic, it's not that old, Celtic cross with an old unusable cannon.
And that marks where Fort Augusta once was.
That's right.
What about November 9th, this huge celebration marking, as you mentioned, not just 275, but the overall mission at that beautiful place? What can people expect on the 9th?
So on November 9th at 5:30, we'll have a service that we call Evensong.
What's that mean?
So the traditional English services from the Book of Common Prayer of morning prayer, sometimes called matins, and then evening prayer. But then if you sing evening prayer, it's evensong. So this is a very traditional, not quite ancient, but very old service, and many brilliant composers and musicians have set the prayers to music. And we have commissioned a new setting by famed composer Malcolm Archer to be the St. Paul's service, and it will be debuted in this service of prayers that is also going to be stunningly beautiful music.
Does the congregation or do the attendees sing? Does Malcolm sing? Who gets to do that part?
So the St. Paul's Choir will do most of the singing. There are also congregational hymns because this is not a concert. It's a worship service that happens to include concert-worthy music. So we will all sing congregational hymns. Malcolm Archer will be conducting the choir while our director of music and organist Keith Schaefer plays the organ.
It's going to be magnificent.
It's going to be fantastic, and we'll have a huge party afterwards in a room we have called the River Room, to which everyone is invited. All of it's free, and then after that, we'll go back to putting all our focus on serving God, serving our neighbors, being a church for the heart of the city of Augusta.
Has church changed since you got into the ministry? Do people still go like they used to?
It has changed. I've been ordained, I think, 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah.
I've been down here in Augusta for just over 4. And COVID, of course, had a tremendous impact on many churches. And many churches learned a new ministry, right? How to broadcast even without this amazing equipment that y'all have. And
You're right. Facebook.
So it is the case still that some folks are watching online. I think that's not just St. Paul's. I think that's everybody.
Does that count as church if you're looking at your phone or iPad?
If you're not coming to church, I hope you're watching and praying or listening however you can. I happen to think that there's nothing quite like being gathered together as the body of Christ, expressing our faith.
I think that's beautifully put. You made me think of the River Room and how much we love that part of St. Paul's. How is it doing? It seems like it's constantly rented out.
Yeah, most of the time it's rented out. If you're thinking of doing an event at St. Paul's, you need to be looking, give us a call, but 12 months out is the easiest way to get a Saturday night.
Let me go back to what we were talking about because I don't want our time to end. I think what you mentioned is important when it comes to church attendance and in-person attendance. For those who are watching who are on the fence about either going to church or going back to church, what would you say to make them want to go?
I would say that we're living in perilous times. The pressures on all of us in our culture to cling to what we have, to fight anyone who threatens it, to lose those. It's one of the great Christian truths. If you cling to what you have too strongly, you're going to lose it, right? The only way to keep it is to share it, to give it. And that's really hard to do on your own. I think we need community to stay truest to who we are, who we're called to be. So I think if it's at all possible, go to your community of faith, be engaged, and help that community become truer to its deepest convictions, and let them help you become better at living truly to your own convictions.
You know, November 9th would be a great time to make that move. Do people need to do anything special to sign up for your celebration?
No, just come, pray with us, sing with us, enjoy the music with us, and then party with us. And if you happen to think, boy, this was a great church, I'd love to live more fully into my faith with these folks, come talk to me.
I tell you what, I mean, the community of faith aside, that sanctuary will draw you in. It's just stunning. And Father Biddy, I'm glad you're in Augusta, and I appreciate your time to talk about this huge celebration coming up.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Father Eric Biddy, the rector at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. When we come back, exploring the world of healthcare in your home on the Means Report.